Hi there, we're at STARS South Knoxville location doing some nature walk today. I'm going to show you around, show you some cool things. We all know that horses live here at this site, but I'm going to show you some other creatures that live here and share the fields and the barn with the horses. So things that you might not get to see when you're here for a riding lesson, like this wild onion that I just pulled out of the ground. I'm not going to eat it because I'm not a fan of onions, but it's exactly like your everyday onion that you get at the grocery store with the little white bulb and the long green leaves. But it was growing in the dirt here. Go. Imagine being here in a rainstorm years ago when the water was running down the tree and suddenly lightning struck this tree. You can see right here where the lightning followed the path of the water and actually instantly boiled it. And that's what blew the bark off the side of this tree, is the places where it was wet and the water was running down. When the lightning hit it, just immediately boiled that water under the tree bark and the water that was running down and blew the bark right off it in a couple streaks like this. So when this happens to a tree, they can still live. This one's still alive, but it does make them weaker because now bugs and fungus have access to the inside of the tree where it's been blown off. But this is a tree at our South Knoxville site that has been struck by lightning and still has the scars to show it. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, is anyone home? These big dead trees are called snags, and there you can see all the holes going all the way up there. A dead tree acts like an apartment building for all kinds of creatures. There's 85 different kinds of birds in North America that use holes for their nests. They won't just build it on a tree branch. They actually need a hole in a tree or a birdhouse that someone builds for them in order to have their nest. So that's why bluebirds became pretty rare 20, 30 years ago. They're coming back now because people understand that they need to leave these big old dead trees. People are also putting out birdhouses more to help the bluebirds and other woodpeckers and other birds that live in these holes. And not just birds, but things like raccoons, possums, all live in these big apartment buildings. So next time you see a big standing dead tree, instead of thinking, oh, that's ugly, that's a waste, think, oh, that's where everyone lives. I don't hear any turkeys calling back. You can try to sound like a turkey with just a blade of grass. And the way to do it is to pick kind of a wide blade of grass. See, that one's pretty fat. And then you hold it between your thumbs. So I pinch it and lay it across one thumb. See, it makes a little gap right there. And I lay my other thumb across there. And then I blow in here between my two thumbs right there, and it makes the grass vibrate. And by moving my thumbs back and forth apart a little bit, I can make it sort of sound like a turkey. Try that again. Yeah, exactly. I have two different feathers here, both from pretty big birds. One is a turkey vulture. You can see it's white on the underneath because under their wings, when one flies over, you can see the white. It's black on top. The other one is from a barn owl. You can see the nice brown and black splotches and the white underneath. But what makes these two feathers different, when you think about owls, they have a reputation for flying silently at nighttime, being able to sneak up on their prey. Other birds you might have heard when they fly by is kind of a whoosh, 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 whoosh with their feathers. With owls, it's very different because they are able to fly silently. Come look at these under the magnifying glass. You can see the edges of the owl feather, the white one there, has little tiny ridges on it. It's kind of frilly, where turkey vulture feather just has a straight edge There's no fuzz at the very edge of the feather like there is with a barn owl. So if you take your hands, pretend your hands are feathers, and swoosh them past your ears, you'll be able to feel and hear the and that's what happens with a bird with a straight edge of their feathers. That's what makes that noise, is it swooshing through the air. If you're an owl and the edges of your feathers are frilled and fuzzy, do that past your ears, there's no sound. It breaks it up, so it's not moving big chunks of air each time like the other feathers are, and that's how come owls can fly silently. You can see up there a mourning dove sitting on her nest. Her behavior tells me there's probably eggs in the nest because she hasn't left in a while. She's sitting up there keeping the eggs warm, protecting them from things that want to eat the eggs like blue jays and crows. If there were baby birds in the nest, she'd be busy going back and forth getting food for them, but right now she's just sitting there with her feathers keeping the eggs warm so they can incubate and hatch. But she's right in the shadow under the roof of our old barn at South Knox. I wonder who was here.
Not a horse.
Definitely not a horse. Way more fingers than a horse. Okay. Looks like something walked through towards our arena. You can see the toes are pointing the way my fingers are, as if I was walking on 4 legs. Looks to me like a possum or a raccoon. And the reason I can tell that is they have thumbs just like we do. And you see this print here. Looks like my left hand, 4 fingers and a thumb. Then 4 fingers and a thumb. This looks like a back foot here. It's got the pointy heel on it. We're gonna go in the arena. There's some other tracks too, but these ones are outside the arena. They were just very well preserved in this mud. Meow, meow. These are cat tracks. Those of you that have ever had a cat and a litter box at home have probably seen those. The way that I can tell this isn't a dog track is there's no claws, because cats can retract their claws. So when they're walking around, their claws aren't sticking out like a dog's are. So these are probably kitty cat. And these over here are more raccoon, possum tracks. There's a back foot and a front foot. And then the other front foot and the other back foot. So front, back and front. They're walking just like we would on 4 legs.
Or they're playing Twister.
Yeah. Here's some more of our friend raccoon prints or possum prints. But look who also walked by. Someone with 3 toes up front and 1 toe behind. Looks like some little bird went walking through here. Their front toes are the 3 and their heel points backwards, so this is the way they were walking. Stripes of sunlight are a horse's hoof. But look, compared to my hand, how big that horse's hoof is. There was one tiny horse, small enough to make these tracks, living at South Knoxville. These are jitterbugs footprints from a couple weeks ago. We've been playing CSI Star. So here's the scene of a grizzly accident. Let's see if you can tell what happened. Looks to me like an egg fell out of a nest. You can see bits of the yolk when it splatted, because the roof is quite a distance up here. But there's an eggshell with the bits of the egg inside.
Anybody hungry?
Yeah. This here specimen is a cement rabbit. You can find them all over the southeast, often in gardens or front yards. Wow. Some people hunt them, blast them with their shotgun, but I like to admire them in the wild.
Other wildlife creatures here at the South Knoxville. Ain't she a beaut?